And guess what? I was a vending machine operator. I filled coffee machines and candy machines and soda machines, and I could take them apart and put them back together. I could tell you what's wrong with them without even being on the location. But it didn't pay money unless I owned the route. And then one day, while I was doing the vending route, the conclusion came to me that, even if I have this vending route, if I have a route like this, that means I got to hire somebody. Do I trust somebody to be able to take the cash out of the machine and bring all the money to me? Because I got robbed one time. They broke into the back of the truck. They literally pulled the safe that was bolted in the back of the Isuzu truck. They ripped the whole safe off the back truck that was bolted in, ripped the whole entire thing out. And when I came out of the site to put the remainders and the stale stuff that I take out of machines, and I saw the door ripped off and the safe missing, I was gutted. I'm like, the first thing it came to my mind was, they're going to think I did it. That was exactly what I thought. Why did I think that? Why would I go to that conclusion immediately? Because of that piece of shit that you got to watch those guys from Essex. And I've been honest. I haven't even missed a day. I've never missed a day. I came to work all the time. But these people stole that cash, and I literally was ashamed that it happened on my route. Like, I could have somehow prevented it. I couldn't have. I was inside doing the service on the machines. So I sat there for 10 minutes trying to figure out, how am I going to work up the courage to call in and tell my boss that I just got robbed. Thankfully, not at gunpoint or anything like that. But I had to sit there and wrestle with, hey, this is what it feels like to be violated. I've never experienced something like that before. I've never had that moment where something was taken from me and it wasn't mine, and that makes it even worse. But when I called in, to talk to the owner of the company, I said, I just got robbed. What? Yeah, I just got robbed. And he's like, are you okay? And that made me feel better that he was at least asking that. And I said, I'm fine. I just came out of the site with the site I was at. And I said, they tore the door off the back. So it's a roll-up door. That's going to cost you money. And they ripped the entire safe off the floor. Like, it's gone. Like, it's completely gone. And he goes, did he have any video camera back there and like that? Any kind of guards? And I was like, there's nothing here, dude. Like, this is the site I'm at. And it was like a dilapidated old rubber hose making company. So it was almost a failing company. So there was not a lot of technology back then, and nobody was really worried about guarding a place like that. So apparently somebody followed me around, tracked me, and then figured that was the place they were going to do it. And it was like the third stop away from my last of the day. So all the money that would have been in there, was theirs. Well, when I got back to the shop, the owner's son, Glenn, who I had an affinity for, even though his dad's a dick, I saw an entrepreneur magazine sitting on his desk. And I was looking at it, and I'm thinking to myself, entrepreneur. Remember that day when you said that you were going to be a martial arts instructor and you got all the credentials to do it, but you never did it. Here you are filling vending machines. You just got robbed and you feel like shit. So I picked it up and started thumbing through it. And I saw things in the magazine that I liked. Like, they were like pictures of boats and stuff, yachts and things like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask him if I could take this home and borrow it. And I said, Glenn, do you mind if I borrow this? I'll bring it back tomorrow. It won't be messed up. He goes, no, you can have it. So I took the magazine home. And I went home, did my normal thing, coming home, shower, work out, eat, sit around. And I started wanting to go to sleep. I grabbed the magazine, I was looking at it, and I thumbed through the back of it, and there was this little tiny low classified ad. It said, real money, real people. Call this 1-800 number and get free information. So I did. And in like a week, I got a little cassette tape. And obviously, many of the old people here, the old time students, they know that was the Ken Roberts cartridge course that ended up buying that put me on the mailing list of Larry Williams stuff. The rest is history. But when I started making money trading, I was at that vending company during that 9 months of. So naturally, because I was looking for any way to get out of that lifestyle, having to work, and I wanted to be able to put the middle finger up into that guy's dad's face, which I never did that, folks. I'm glad I didn't, because I'd probably regret it today, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to do it, because I did. But I wanted to escape so badly that there was a snowstorm, and I was expected to go to work that day, and I was in bed with my girlfriend, who I was engaged to at the time. And I thought to myself, I make way more money than I make in a month, a day now. And I'm looking at this girl who's not my wife. It was a younger relationship. I was a young guy. But I'm looking at her, I'm thinking, I want to marry this girl, and I don't want to be doing what I'm doing. And she doesn't know what I'm doing. She thinks the only from the vending business. So when we go out to dinner and I'm taking her to nice restaurants to try to impress her and her parents, that day I just said, you know what, I'm done. So we had pagers back. My boss was paging me, and they call in, like, So I finally look, I'm not coming in today. It snowed and it's bad here. And he's like, well, shovel out. I said, shovel out. Now this is the son, the one I did like. I said, Glenn, I can't shovel the friggin' streets. Like, it's everywhere, not just around my car. And I had a Z28 back then. So you just don't do a Z28 in this kind of snow we had. So he says, well, if you don't come in, you don't have a job. I said, well, that just made it a lot easier, because I'm never coming back down. See you. And I didn't go pick up my check. It was 4 months before he mailed it to me. Did it feel good to do it that day? Yes, because I didn't have a guilty conscience about it. That was the reason why I kept staying, because I liked him. I liked him as a person, but that day killed it for me, which is, I guess, God's way of saying it's time to go. So he let him show his colors to me, and I just rolled. And I just did it the way I wanted to, on my terms. They didn't say, we don't need you anymore, trash from Essex. Then their business went under. These folks that had Section 8 housing, they lost all their housing because of reports about being slumlords. So all their wealth and things that made them feel rich and such, they don't have it anymore. But I look at myself every Saturday, and it sounds venomous the way I'm saying it now. It's only because I'm talking to you like you're in the car with me right now. And I'm reliving these painful, emotional moments that were real. These are not made up things, folks. I ate garbage, okay, just like all of you do. I was not exempt from that. You hear me talk, and it sounds like this guy was just pressed out of a mold. He never had any hardships. It was a silver spoon in his mouth, and this is no. I had this. I knew when I was younger, and it's not because I'm lazy, because I'm not lazy. It's just people listening. How can you recognize me? I'm a real person. I'm through these things, just like you're going through your things right now. And you'll think about this conversation when you're older and you have more experience behind you. And then when you've succeeded, you'll say, you know what? I remember that time when ICT was out there driving around, almost beat somebody's ass for almost running off a road. That day, he said some things that really resonated with me. And it made sense at that time later on, not so much meaningful to you right now, because they're my experiences. Maybe you don't have the hardships that you live with. And you're This is temporary. Don't let other people around you look down on you and make you think that that's where you're supposed to be. No, you are not where you are right now. You found me because you were supposed to find me. We crossed paths because you are expected to use what it is I'm teaching. You didn't find me by chance. Do I ever advertise? No. You ever seen any ads? Nope. No coupon codes, no special deals, no deadline. If you don't do it by this time, that's all garbage. That's people that need to sell. I don't need to sell shit. And when you taste what it is that I'm selling, it's real. And then when it's given to you for free, that's treasure. Look how many people are literally energized now. They're able to see it. And all it took for them is to literally engage. Take me for my word only on the basis of test and see if it's true. It costs you nothing but time. If I'm a fraud, if it doesn't work, you'll know right away. I didn't have that, folks. I didn't have those things. Hang on. Guy's trying to run him over in the fire engine. See that? When's the last time your mentor took you on a road trip like this? Almost had cops show up. So when you go through these moments where you feel like you're not going to be able to do this, just know that I had those all the time. And I had good, well-meaning people around me, and they didn't inspire me. In fact, they were weights around my neck. They kept me from being positive. I had to dig in deep on myself. And it was me basically going to war with that guy's perception of me. You got to watch those guys from Essex, Maryland. Like I'm some freaking meth head selling crack on a corner somewhere. I was a model employee. That's the guy you want that never